Breaking news: two police officers dead and the manhunt underway. And North Korea says it can launch a missile at any time. All this and more coming up next on LNN Tonight. Welcome to LNN Tonight. We start off tonight with breaking news as two police officers are dead and the manhunt is underway in Orlando. What's the latest on this, Daniel?
Well, hundreds of law enforcement officers have searched Orlando tonight as a man is suspected of fatally shooting a police officer. Officers have been searching door to door in apartment complexes and locked down dozens of schools. The shooting took place at a Walmart, and the suspect fled in a vehicle. He proceeded to fire shots at the pursuing officer. He then abandoned his vehicle and carjacked another. The man then ditched the second vehicle a little later and ran into an apartment complex where the search has continued.
Very interesting. Of course, we have our guest, David, on today. What are your thoughts about this, David?
There's really not much to think about. I mean, it's just senseless and cruel and plain stupid. And this guy is a definite thug. I mean, he killed his pregnant girlfriend on Christmas time, for crying out loud. And not to mention, in addition to the master sergeant that was killed, a deputy was killed in pursuit of this guy on a motorcycle by a random car just driving along doing its own business. So this is a terrible story. I mean, there's nothing good about it at all.
Yeah, there is a reward of $60,000 if they have information about this suspect. In other news, North Korea says it could launch a missile at any time. What do you think is going to be the repercussions of this, especially as Trump is coming into office, David?
Yeah, with North Korea, you never really know with them. I remember Louis Black made a joke a while back talking about how North Korea is black and white, but it's not the film, it's just they're pure evil. I really believe that. I mean, it's like their own cult. I mean, the dictator is a god in that country. Literally, to them, he's a god. So it's just a terrible thing. I don't know if anything will come from it. I mean, they may have a few missiles that I saw through the story here. They had a handful of different type of nuclear weapons they're testing, but they don't have anyone near what we have. I mean, we have, I think our budget's bigger than the next 15 countries combined. So I just think it's an empty threat. I really don't see him actually following up on that.
Yeah, Daniel, do you think that Trump's, he's definitely tweeted about North Korea. Some have said that this is kind of the biggest issue facing the next president. What do you think he will do about this? I mean, it is a really big issue. I mean, of course, they don't have as much power as us, but I mean, a nuclear weapon can still be very devastating.
Yeah, I agree with David on this. I think it's a lot of empty threats, but obviously you do have to take them seriously if you're running a nation, and hopefully Trump does. I don't think Trump... I really don't know what Trump will do. It's hard to tell what he will do sometimes, but he did tweet about it, and we covered that earlier last week. But North Korea has really been threatening their nuclear missiles lately, and China and South Korea on Monday did denounce them for their missile threat, and even South Korean Defense Ministry spokesperson Moon San-yeon said that if North Korea disregards our warning and launches an ICBM, it will face more powerful and through sanctions and pressure by the international community. So I think it would be stupid if North Korea did this. Then again, I don't know how intelligent their leader is, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, in other news, Russia doubles down against U.S. hacking allegations. Of course, Trump recently met with some of the top intelligence officials, but I mean, this seems to be getting drawn out way longer than it needs to be. Is this really a big deal, or is it just something that everyone needs to move on about, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if it's fake news. Russia says U.S. allegations that it engaged in hacking during the American presidential election are unfounded and amount to nothing more than a full-scale witch hunt, which I tend to agree with considering there's been no evidence put forth regarding it. The United States has accused Russia of hacking the elections by saying Putin ordered an influence campaign aimed at hurting Hillary Clinton and helping Donald Trump. Of course, I believe it was WikiLeaks founder who said that Podesta's password was password. So even the Russians, if they did hack the DNC and Podesta's emails, probably a 3-year-old could have done the same thing.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about this, David?
I'm sorry, I bounced around chocolate and nobody said the password was password. That reminds me of Archer when the password's guessed. So it's kind of, I mean, that's just funny. I mean, it starts off with her saying not only Russia hacked the election, they actually hacked the machine with Jill Stein or her recount BS. And then all of a sudden, now they're saying they influenced the election for Trump. And if anything, if Russia did anything at all, it was pretty much not so much pro-Trump but anti-Hillary. It could have been any other Republican nominee, I think. So, yes, I agree with Daniel on this. They're kind of drawing it out. I think the Democrats are trying to reach for something, maybe hoping something will stick. But it's just not working, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Paul Ryan says that Russia didn't stop Clinton from campaigning in key states. Does Paul Ryan really... I mean, is he really the one to be commenting on this? I mean, it seems like he's kind of dragging out a little bit. What are your thoughts about this, David?
Paul Ryan is a mixed bag to me. You know, I really don't know what he's thinking. Like, he was very anti-Trump from the beginning, and all of a sudden he's like really pro-Trump when he found out he was going to get the nomination. And I don't know if you want to blame Russia, so to say, for Hillary for going or not going. I just think Hillary ran a very bad campaign, and the reason she lost a key demographic that Obama won in 12 was the working class, middle class, I think that's what it is, was because of that reason she neglected them. So it's all Hillary's fault they lost. I don't think Russia had much anything to do with it.
Well, yeah, I agree, actually. And I find that Ryan's statement was very true and funny. Basically, he said Russia didn't tell Hillary Clinton not to go to Wisconsin or Michigan. They didn't put the server in her basement or put the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And he went on to say that Trump won the election fair and square. And I find that pretty funny, and it's true. Clinton completely ignored the Rust Belt and the middle class, and that's one of the staples of what Obama and how he won the elections in 2008 and 2012, other than facing incompetent Republicans. So I think that Ryan was very true on this. I think he's really kissing Trump's butt because he wants to keep his seat as House Speaker. But other than that, yeah, the statement I find Ryan 100% correct on.
Yeah, well, liberal commentators changed their tone on executive powers and taxation. What's the latest on this, Daniel?
Yeah, the Young Turks, they continue to amaze everyone. I'm finally happy, actually, that we get to do a story on the Young Turks, as we've hit the far-right media pretty hard plenty of times with Alex Jones and all of them, but mainly because it's easy. And the Young Turks have been keeping a low profile lately, after the Election Day meltdown, at least. But most recently, they've changed their tune on taxes. And so a bit of a backstory to this. Obama's presidency, they did not do much complaining about how much executive power Obama was being allowed to obtain, technically allowed, I guess. But now Trump has assumed all powers that Obama grabbed up, and the Young Turks are freaking out about it and losing their minds. And Anna Kasparian, the feminazi, actually complained about taxation. She went as so far as to say that the wall is a non-issue and that taxes should be cut in this case, and that the tax money would be wasted on a wall. So I'm amazed by that.
Yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts on this, David?
I just think the Young Turks complain about big government and executive orders is outright comical. I mean, these are just extreme leftist loyalists. They're afraid to say the words Islamic terror. They're all about the left and SJWs and all that BS. And I'm sorry, I can't take it seriously. They're complaining about taxation. I mean, yeah. Bottom line, end of the day, you have right versus left. It's really there's no difference. It's authoritarian versus libertarian, and both sides want that authoritarian power. It's just they get mad when the other takes advantage of it. So
Exactly.
it's just, to me, it's hypocrisy, pure and simple.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like very similar things happen throughout time, and this is kind of just another example of it. So, honestly, I mean, nothing too new here. I mean, on certain levels, it's really not that surprising. But that'll do it for LNN tonight on this Monday night. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.